Today I want to talk about time management, and came up because in a conversation I had last week with a sales executive in Saudi Arabia, he was saying his number one challenge is just getting control of his time. And I'm not a time management expert, but there are a couple of things I want to share with you today. His situation, he's getting over 100 emails a day, plus he has his direct reports and distributor reps that are calling him about different things. I don't think he's getting dozens of calls a day, but he's getting a lot of calls in addition to all these emails. And so I had a couple of things I shared with him that I have found useful, and I want to share with you today. The first is a YouTube from a guy named Rory Vaden. And he talks about not managing your time, but multiplying your time. And the first thing, time management course that I went to years ago, the most powerful time management tool they said existed was no. If you just say no to accepting things or tasks or assignments, then you're already reducing the load and limiting, obviously how many things you have to deal with. And that leads into Rory's, what he calls time funnel. And we'll provide a link at the end of this so you can go watch the 18-minute video. And it's really worth it. It really is. Anyway, the first level on his funnel, and you'll see on the graphic, is to eliminate things. So if you don't say no to it and it does come to you, but you now have figured out you don't need to do it, then you can just eliminate it, and that's a way, obviously, to free up some cycle, some bandwidth for you. If you can't eliminate it, the second thing he talks about is, can you automate it? And the example he gives there is like online banking. And the point he makes is that, it takes some time to set it up, but once it's set up, then it runs automatically. And, with online banking as an example, you have to enter account numbers and all of that. But once you've done that, then, it's pretty much you can just go through and pay your bills in just a few minutes, or you can even set it up if bills come in within certain bounds that it's paid automatically. And again, that frees up some time for you. If you can't eliminate it or automate it, the next step is, can you delegate it? And my favorite example of that personal example are these videos. I have an application called Camtasia from TechSmith. Very powerful, loads of capabilities for, $300 or something. It's just an amazing application. And after I'd recorded some videos, I said to my partner, Jim Dickey, I think we could put some 30-second snippets up on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever to kind of let people know what we're doing and invite them to watch longer videos. And after I spent 8 hours one day and still didn't have a 30-second snippet, I realized there's got to be somebody better at this than I am. Nobody could be worse. And in fact, I found Naomi, and she's been fabulous. Top Shelf Virtual Assistant is her site, and she's the one who's making these videos viewable for you and is doing it in much better form and much less time than I could ever dream of. So delegate. And the final thing is, okay, if you can't eliminate it, you can't automate it, you can't delegate it, you have to do it, then you still have a couple options. One is to concentrate on it, that is to focus and just get the thing done, or to consciously, and this is kind of a fun one, consciously procrastinate it, just shove it off. Yeah, I have to do it, but I don't have to do it right now, and just shove it off. So when it comes down to you, you can concentrate and do it, or procrastinate and put it off. And of course, if you can put it off long enough, then maybe you can eliminate it, which brings us back to where it started. So I think it's a really valuable model. I think it's very helpful. And again, there's a link to take you to it. It's Rory Vaden on YouTube. The second thing is called the Pomodoro practice, or the Pomodoro time management tool. And if you don't know, many of you do, in Italian, Pomodoro means tomato. And this thing is based on, and there's a picture here for you, of the old kitchen timer back kind of in the late 50s or 60s, where everybody had this kitchen timer that looked like a tomato. And the tool is you set that for either 25 minutes or 50 minutes, and then back to concentrating, you just focus on whatever the task is for that period of time, the 25 or 50 minutes. And then you take 5 or 10 minutes as a break from doing that, and then you could set another segment if you need to or want to. And it's a perfect complement to this notion of when it comes down to you have to concentrate. Here's the way to do it. Stay off email, put do not disturb on your phone, and just get it done. Now, the other part of this that I think is important, and this is another YouTube video, and kind of a classic, really, I think goes back to 1994 and Stephen Covey, and that is deal with the big rocks during that Pomodoro time. And if you haven't seen this, it's, putting stuff in a bowl and can you fit it all in? And the only way it works is if you deal with the big rocks first, the tasks that are big, sometimes are overwhelming. And one of the problems when that comes up is those are the ones, at least for me, that I tended to push off until, then I was under the gun and had a deadline that, then I'm not pulling all-nighters, but, working under pressure. The whole idea of Pomodoro is you chip away at this thing. You have time every day where you concentrate and take off bits of these big rocks, and at the end of the week, you've made some real progress. To update that notion of both dealing with the big rocks and the Pomodoro time segment, during COVID times with everybody working from home, there was a New York Times article that I found relevant and useful, and that is not 25 minutes or 50 minutes, but 2 hours. And so I now block out 10 a.m. to 12 noon every day, and that's my Pomodoro time. And it really allows me to make progress on big rock projects that I have. And the 25-minute thing didn't really work for me. The 50-minute, for some reason, knowing I have 2 hours and not doing email, really focusing on whatever the project is, article or video or whatever, has really worked for me, and I hope it works for you. So you can't manage time, but you can, according to Rory, multiply it. What you really need to do is manage yourself. I hope these tools are helpful.